Today, I have a message from David Bowie, one of my favorite spirit guides who I've been working with for over 3 years. And I'm calling it the Lazarus transmission because it references his video and song Lazarus, which was on his last album before he died, the Black Star album. And although I'm not super familiar with his music and this particular song or video, he brought it through this transmission for a purpose and reason. And it's all about where we're at in the collective awakening process. So, this video is part one of a two-part series breaking down the deeper symbolism and messages that came through this very simple download. But as most of my spirit messages work, they are layered and encoded with source and awakening codes. And so that's why we will be doing a part two. But this part one is just going to be me sharing the transmission, talking a little bit about how David Bowie does work with the collective as a spirit guide, and the breakdown of the basic message coming through. So let's start. First of all, hello, intuitive souls. I'm Rachel Sawani. In case you're new here, I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive coach. I share channeled messages from different spirit guides to help us embody our highest Christ light and awaken to our higher soul and live a more soul fulfilled, embodied life. So, David Bowie, let's start with who is David Bowie? Obviously, we know who he is, but how does he work with us as a spirit guide? So, as I mentioned, he's been on my team for over 3 years now, and he's one of the leaders on my team, one of the guides I receive downloads and messages from the most. We have regular Dreamtime communication and visits, and he is a essentially here to help the collective not only awaken, but to understand the mechanics, right? The quantum physics and mechanics behind the ascension process. So he's a teacher and mentor guide on my team. He teaches me a lot of stuff that gets really technical sometimes, but he's very wizardly, I would like to say, but he's a very intelligent and multidimensional. So he is an Andromedon starseed, and we have that lineage in common. He also works with the Melchizedek order, and he works with the Guardian Alliance host networks and councils of light, who are here to help anchor in the higher Christic Christ consciousness codes and help the collective to shift into the higher timelines through this accelerated ascension process that we're in. So I'll just share the full download as I received it. This came in randomly one night last week. And word for word, this is it. We're all here to learn how to tune to each other's frequency and adjust our temperature valves and gauges along the way to find harmony, even where there is seemingly opposition or corrupted code. That's the true path to freedom, and we are all here to recognize it. As bridge builders and quantum healers of the old timelines, we are literally like Lazarus, resurrecting ourselves from the dead. That's when he started to mention his Lazarus video, which wasn't in my awareness at the time. He just brought it through. And he ended with, "We will be back. This is not the end." So if you're familiar with his song Lazarus and that video, you'll have a better understanding of this message. So I'll leave a link to the video itself in the descriptions box in case you want to watch it. But we're just going to break this down and what he was showing me piece by piece. So, starting with, we're all here to learn how to tune to each other's frequency. He's showing us on a collective level. He's showing me that we are like instruments in a cosmic orchestra, okay? Every soul has a sound. Every soul has a unique chord, sound, tone. The goal is not to match each other specifically, right? The goal is to harmonize our differences, merging into unity consciousness, which is what Christ consciousness is all about, to adjust, to fine tune, just like the opening line of his song, Lazarus, where he says, "Look up here, I'm in heaven." Heaven here means expanded perception, the perception or higher perception that our soul has looking down. It means frequency alignment, seeing truth from above the noise. So, this is exactly the point of the Lazarus initiation that the video symbolizes. It's all about, and what he's saying in his message here, it's all about learning to adjust our vibration, attuning to our soul truth, rising above corrupted programming, and seeing from the higher vantage point. So the next line, and we adjust our temperatures, valves, gauges along the way to find harmony. So this is where he's going into energetic or ascension mechanics, the inner surgery that we have to go through, the disillusion of negative ego attachments and identities, identity shifting, old program collapsing or old programming collapsing, shadow surfacing or being revealed, and our intuition reawakening. So this is also what was symbolized in the video where Bowie was shown with bandages and buttons on his eyes and the hospital bed in the Lazarus video, the hospital setting. He was basically showing us the energetic surgery, reconstruction, and recalibration or mechanics of our human self essentially being rewired through this death rebirth process or transformation process. Even so, the next line is in the message, even where there is opposition or corrupt code. So we are here to face the distortion, face the corruption, the corrupted code head on, not to avoid it, but to bring light into the corrupted timelines. Because David Bowie is all about teaching me that this is a timeline war. This is an interdimensional timeline war that we're in. And we are all the boots on the ground. So our awareness, our higher soul awareness of our one multidimensionality is very important and key in understanding how to perceive through or see past the illusions, the tricks that are here to mind trap or soul trap our energy or siphon our energy or keep us stuck in karmic loops and cycles that are destructive for our ascension process, essentially keeping us stuck, right? So that's what he's saying here, essentially, to bring light into the corrupted timelines, the old karmic loops, bring light and awareness and healing to our ancestral wounds that we carry generation to generation and all of the collective illusions we've been kind of hiding or caught in a spell under, right? Not being able to see up until now, where all of this is being revealed as we move into these higher collective Christ consciousness timelines. So in Bowie's song Lazarus, he says, "I've got scars that can't be seen." And this perfectly matches this unseen healing process that we're all going through, whether we're conscious of it or not. It's happening to all of us on a certain level. It's the inner resurrection. Okay, so Bowie, through this song, acknowledges the unseen wounds, the invisible transformations, the quantum scars, pointing to the shadow layers, the distortion fields, and the old matrix programming, the scars of the old identities we're shedding in order to embody our higher Christed forms. So the message going back says that's the true path to freedom. We are here to recognize it. Freedom, in this sense, is not escape, it is awakening. So it's not escaping the matrix, it's learning how to be ourselves, our Christed selves, our higher self, embodied in human form while we are on earth, bringing heaven to earth. It is awakening. It is conscious recoding, conscious reprogramming. It is learning how to feel your own frequency clearly and then choosing it. And then in the message, Bowie says, "We are bridge builders and quantum healers of the old timelines." This is why we incarnated right now. This is why we were at some point in time, maybe not right now, very excited as souls to come on to the planet at this time and be part of this awakening journey, right? This is why, to close the old time loops and open the new streams of Christ consciousness. So in Lazarus, his video, the deeper meaning behind his words, "Everybody knows me now," is that the soul is revealing its true identity after lifetimes of hiding. The truth that can no longer stay buried, where we are free to be ourselves and live more soul aligned in harmony with each other. So, like the myths of Lazarus rising from the dead, we are literally, and this is in his message, him saying, we are literally like Lazarus resurrecting ourselves from the dead. This is not metaphorical, it's literal at the soul level. We are all in the process of resurrecting our memory, our power, our intuition, our multidimensional identity, our authenticity, and our higher self embodiment. So Bowie used the video Lazarus to illustrate this timeline jump from the old self to the eternal self. And Lazarus was his art piece about spiritual rebirth after ego death, returning from the ashes with deeper vision. And we as a collective are going through the same process of soul resurrection, timeline clearing, multidimensional self awakening, reclaiming power from old stories and outdated paradigms. So Bowie ends his transmission to me with this: "We will be back. This is not the end." So death isn't disappearance. Endings are transitions. Bowie is still here, working with us as a guide, a frequency, and a bridge between worlds. And we are all remembering, rising, and resurrecting our consciousness. And the transmission is clear. This is just the beginning. So if any of this transmission resonated for you, please hit the like button and comment below what part of the Lazarus transmission hit you the most. And also make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss part 2, because in my next video, I'm going to break down what I call the Lazarus effect, the actual 4 stages of spiritual resurrection that every awakened soul is moving through right now. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye.